School Academic website.
You can find all our local news, sports and entertainment on the TV1 Extra page on our website. TV1 Extra gives you access to scope, hunters and digital ExxonMobil Cup highlights and many more. Just one click to access. Stay updated, stay entertained. TV1 Online, just one click away.
Hello and welcome. I'm Tracy Pa with the Midday News. Prime Minister James Marape has strongly condemned the recent unprovoked missile attack on Israel by Iran, along with the continued hostilities from Hamas and Hezbollah. Marape said Israel is not in physical conflict with Iran, and yet it finds itself facing this aggression, which only escalates the violence in the region. As stated in his recent address to the United Nations General Assembly, the Prime Minister said violence begets violence. He said Papua New Guinea remains committed to supporting efforts towards a peaceful resolution and encourages the international community to work together in promoting dialogue over warfare. The teachers from both the north and south coast of Madang gathered at the Ron Halbert Oval on Friday to celebrate the World Teachers' Day. During the celebration, teachers were reminded that their profession was biblically passed down from generation, with Christ being the master teacher. It is a humble profession, and teaching is the source for any profession. A doctor, pilot, entrepreneur, and even the Prime Minister. Acting Education Advisor Alphonse Igag stressed to all teachers gathered at the Oval that it was the time for transformation to take place within the industry. He encouraged them not to be educators in their profession, but to level up a notch and create a transformation within the education system. Igag encouraged all teachers to reflect on their journey in their career and stress on the need for self-discipline.
Civilized people of this country, properly behaving or behave people of this country, respectful people of this country.
44 young Papua New Guineans will be traveling to China under the Papua New Guinea government's prestigious Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics or STEM scholarships. Deputy Prime Minister John Rosso, Chinese Ambassador, Education Minister Lucas Dekena, and Education Secretary Dr. Uke Kombra officially farewelled the students last Friday. The 26 young women and 28 young men, all of whom excel in their grade 12 STEM studies at 6 of the nation's top schools, Soguri, Ayura, Karavat, Passam, Wawin and Port Moresby, are set to pursue advanced fields such as electrical engineering, civil engineering, mechanical engineering, computer science, and more. The University of Papua New Guinea Creative Arts students launched their week-long creative journey on Sunday evening at the university campus. The Creative Arts Strand Leader and Deputy Dean for Planning, Dr. Philemon Yalamo, said the week-long activity will feature simultaneous festivities showcasing different arts and art forms, various exhibition, theatrical production, and musical ensembles.
It's always been here, and although not aggressively combined into a week of simultaneous festivities, the tradition of showcasing different arts and art forms taught here has been presented through various exhibitions, theatrical productions, and musical ensembles. It is very much alive and well here, delivered through creativity and musical ensembles.
To overseas, thousands gathered at Pro-Palestine demonstration around Australia to mark the October 7th anniversary.
52 weeks, 52 protests. Hundreds of thousands of protesters across the country over the course of a year.
Gaza's being bombed into oblivion for 365 days, and I stand with the people of Gaza.
A surprise Hamas attack in Israel in October last year killed 1,200 people, and around 250 more were taken hostage. It was followed by an Israeli offensive that has killed more than 41,000 Palestinians and leveled most of Gaza.
It's not about Israel, it's about the Palestinians who's been killed for a year in Palestine.
It's a very important cause. Whatever the world is allowing to occur now, it's a crime.
In Melbourne, protesters laid thousands of small paper kites, each representing the life of a child killed in Gaza. Meanwhile, police kept a watchful eye for banned symbols, including the Hezbollah flag. The group, along with Hamas, are designated terrorist organizations by the Australian government. In total, 5 people have been arrested nationwide, 4 in Melbourne and 1 in Sydney.
For displaying a Nazi symbol on a flag.
Through rain, wind and sunshine, protesters here have showed up week in and week out, calling on the Australian government to act. But after a year of rallies, many of the protesters here say they feel that their calls are falling on deaf ears.
What we're hearing from our own government is that full support for Israel, absolutely none for Palestine, absolutely none for Lebanon.
And this is now 52 weeks of thousands and thousands of Sydney-siders here from across the broad spectrum of society, asking our government to do more than sad tweets or statements of regret.
The victims of the October 7 attack have also been remembered around the country.
We want this war to end because we also, we love every human being, and we want the people in Gaza and Lebanon also to live in peace.
We've seen a horrific rise in anti-Semitism since October 7, and even to think that many Jews did not feel safe to come out here today because the worry that this event would be hijacked.
I've never felt unsafe at these rallies, and I stand in solidarity with them that occupation is not a Jewish value. Supporting endless war in Gaza, Lebanon, Syria is not a Jewish value.
More events will be held tomorrow to mourn all those killed in the war.
Italy's oldest naval ship stopped in Darwin, Australia for a 3-year worldwide voyage.
It's been nearly a century since the Amerigo Vespucci made its maiden voyage. The crown jewel in Italy's naval fleet, standing just 2 metres below the Leaning Tower of Pisa. This weekend, locals have flocked to Darwin to see it, some travelling across the country for a chance to celebrate their homeland.
I came from Melbourne especially to get into this ship because it will be my third visit to that ship.
The 101-metre-long ship is used to train naval cadets. It takes 8 of them to turn the original wheel.
It's a beauty, just like Italians are able to create beauty.
It might look like the set of a movie, but the Amerigo Vespucci has been in action for 93 years and is still sailing as part of a world tour today.
Darwin is the only port it will visit during its second ever stay in Australian waters.
It just feels like it's like stepping into a time machine sort of thing. It's really cool.
It reminds me of Pirates of the Caribbean.
The Italian navies played a key role defending crucial European trade routes during recent tensions in the Middle East. And after Italy's debut in Darwin's International Air Force War Games earlier this year, the European nation signalling its interest in the Indo-Pacific.
We take a commitment to work together for peace, security and protect freedom of navigation in the Indo-Pacific.
The next stop is Singapore, a voyage back through time as Italy looks to secure its future in the region.
Australia's largest train station turns back the clock to a bygone era.
Firing up the engine and fascinating the young and old.
He loves Pacific Nationals, so and Tangaroa.
They're just cool. They're just big and cool.
For some, this was the golden age of travel.
The trains are always on time.
Yes, sir.
And from first to second class, sleeping to dining, there's a chance to try it all as it used to be.
We're on the railway refreshment rooms, tea service.
It's just classic, it's beautiful. I love it. It makes me feel wonderful inside.
A ticket, penny a section. It really made the world so much smaller, the city so much smaller, because before trams and trains, the only thing you could do was either have a horse, you had to be rich, or you walked.
And it's not just trains. There's heritage buses and steamboats ferrying passengers around the city.
It's beautiful.
Have they got any worries about reliability?
No. That's why they're 101 years old.
This weekend is a chance for thousands of people to experience train and bus travel from a different era, one where tickets cost a fraction of the price that they do now, and warnings about the yellow line, well, they didn't exist.
OK, folks, you know the drill. Stand behind the yellow line, please.
The exhibition runs until tomorrow night.
In sports, Prime Minister James Marape has expressed his optimism about the progress towards establishing a Papua New Guinea Rugby League team in the Australian NRL competition, following a series of high-level discussion in Sydney with Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, Minister for Sport Anika Wales, Minister for International Development and the Pacific Pat Conroy, Opposition Leader Peter Dutton, as well as key stakeholders from the NRL, Telstra and Fox TV. The Prime Minister is confident that Papua New Guinea is on the right path to realizing this historic opportunity. Marape also met with NRL chairman and board members, all of whom expressed their full support for Papua New Guinea's NRL ambitions. The Prime Minister also had productive discussions with Telstra and Fox TV regarding potential TV coverage, emphasizing the growing momentum behind the bid. And that ends our news update. Join us at 6 for more.